Hey guys, Theater Girl 1018 here, and I'm really late on this because I've been really busy since I left for a cruise on 2 days after Christmas, and then the first week of school. But anyway, it's finally time for my 2014 book rewards, also known as my 2014 book year in review. What were my favorites? What was the best? And I'm also going to be discussing my reading goals for 2015. So, let's get started.
So much I think it must be true love, it must be true love. Nothing else can break my heart like true love. No one else can break my heart like you.
Okay, so 2014 was kind of a bad reading year for me. I didn't read that much. For a long time, I lost my spark. Long periods of time, I wasn't reading all that much, and it was horrible. But some good things did happen in 2014. I got to read the last Percy Jackson book, what was supposed to be the last Kingdom Keepers book, but evidently there's going to be more. So many things concluded, so many great books, that the books I did read were pretty great. I also got much farther with the Booktubeathon than I did last year. I read like 4 books in 4 days, and it was great, and they were all rereads, which I really wanted to do more often. So, without further ado, I'm going to present my 2014 book awards. Now, I did this last year, but I didn't do BookTube yet, so it wasn't on YouTube, and I just put the winners on Tumblr, and you can find last year's winners in the doobly-doo. But, for right now, let's discuss the rules. For the 2014 Book Awards, the nominees are all based off of books I read in 2014, not books that came out in 2014, because that wouldn't be a very long awards, because I wouldn't have read most of them. For the Best Series Award, it has to be a series I started in 2014. So it can't be a series that I read most of in 2014. No, this has to be like the best new series that I started or completed in 2014. Additionally, any best character, OTP, parent-child relationship, anything like that, that relationship must be present in a book that's read in 2014. So, if there's an OTP that was in a book in a series that I finished in 2014, but it wasn't in the particular book that I read in 2014, then they are not eligible. Additionally, all actions of said couples and characters for their consideration, I am considering all their actions in only the 2014 books. So, without further ado, let's get started with our first award. Our first award is for the Best Book-to-Movie Adaptation of the Year. And that is Fault in Our Stars by John Green. With the exception of a few scenes that weren't all that important, it was basically, the book was the script, which is what we've all always wanted. Fault in Our Stars was great. It captured everything the book captured perfectly. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Mockingjay Part 1, because the Hunger Games movies get more accurate each adaptation, and it was great. The next award is for Best Ending. And this has to be with how powerful the ending of the book was, how well it concluded the book, how powerful, how sad, how moving was this ending, how it has to be a perfect ending for a book. And the award for Best Ending goes to Kingdom Keepers 7, The Insider, which I don't have with me right now because my dad is reading it. But, yay! Next award is for Best Cover. This award goes to Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. There weren't many covers that I actually really loved in 2014, but this one is actually really mesmerizing. Just the mermaid in the water, it catches your eye, it's captivating, and it provides that mystical sense that the book itself has. Next award goes to the Best Parent-Child Relationship. And this award goes to Mia and Her Parents from If I Stay. I loved how Mia's parents were totally accepting of her, even though she was very different from them, and they just had such a close relationship, which is what makes what happens so sad. Okay, the next award is for the Best Bro-TP. What was the best friendship, brother-sister, any kind of thing that's like a friendship, strong, loving relationship that's not parent-child, and it's not, romantic. So the best platonic relationship, really, the best Bro-TP. And the award goes to the Kingdom Keepers from Kingdom Keepers 7, The Insider. I mean, throughout the series, we've always kind of known they were a family, I think, as readers, but that was really never more evident than it was in this final book. of how close they were, especially in the ending of the book, talking about how they wouldn't trade each other for anything. And we got that family feel, and they're just such best friends, and I adore their relationship. The next award is for Best OTP. So really, which OTP really was the most romantic, really defied all the odds, had the best achievements in 2014? What was the best couple in books in 2014? And the award goes to Percabeth from The Blood of Olympus, or Percy and Annabeth. We've been living with Percy and Annabeth since we were kids. They grew from hating each other to being best friends to being in love. And they should have hated each other. Destiny said they should have hated each other. And I think that's why I picked them, because in this book, in the scene where, spoiler alert, so spoilers for Blood of Olympus, I will put my hand up and you can turn the sound back on and not be spoiled when my hand goes down. So in the scene where Percy tells Annabeth he loves her, we really get to see how they defied all the odds, how they beat fate. Fate said they should have hated each other because their parents were in a rivalry, and it was never more evident in that place than where the rivalry began. But they fell in love anyway, and they defied everything. They didn't die. They got through everything, and they're going to get there happily ever after. And that's why Percabeth is the best OTP of 2014. Next award goes to Best Male Character. This award is based off of emotional strength, their actions for others, how good of a person they were, character development, all of those factors. So not just who was the funniest, who's my favorite character. This is based off of how great of a person they were. What did they go through? What did they do? And this award goes to Leo Valdez from The Blood of Olympus. Okay, again, spoilers. Mute the video. I'll put my hand down when it's spoiler-free. Leo was just amazing in this book. The way that he went and was willing to die to save the world and his friends. He exhibited such bravery and such determination and loyalty trying to get back to Calypso. And he was loyal to Calypso and to his friends all at the same time. So much character development and kind of becoming more serious, but still being that Leo we all know and love. And he grew up so much and sacrificed everything. And he was so brave, and that's why he is the best male character of 2014. The next award is for Best Female Character of 2014. This is the same criteria as the Best Male Character, and so without further ado, I'm going to present the award to Willa Angelo from Kingdom Keepers The Insider, which again I don't have. But Willa, so much character development in The Insider. She finally blossoms and becomes the person we all saw inside of her. And Willa is just so brave, so incredible, and I really think she deserved this award. Next award is for the saddest book of 2014, and this award goes to 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. This book is so incredibly moving and touching, and it deals with such real issues. And I never got to do my review of 13 Reasons Why, but basically what I think is that it feels like you know Hannah and Clay. It feels like you know Hannah, like you are her friend. She goes to your school, and the entire book she's telling you about why she killed herself. Not a spoiler, it's in the description of the book. And she's like, and you just want to scream to her to stop, and she feels like such a real person that you feel personally depressed and touched by Hannah Baker's death, and you want to stop it. You want to be that friend to reach out to her and tell her not to, but you can't. And, you see Clay and Hannah's relationship develop only after she died. And that is really sad because you want Clay to do something, stop it. But he can't because she's already dead. And I think Hannah Baker and Clay are each so relatable in their own light. And that's all these things are just what made it so incredibly sad. That I think this book is life-changing, and that's why it's the saddest book of 2014. Staying on that sad note, the next award goes to Saddest Death of 2014. So, spoiler alert for Kingdom Keepers 7. Sorry I had to say that. I will put my hand down when you can unmute the video. The saddest death award goes to Wayne Kresge. Now, I feared that this was going to happen in this book, considering, it kind of started with Wayne in that first chapter of the first book, and I figured he was going to end. And it was so sad because he was like a mentor, and he was just such a heartfelt guy, and he meant so much to all of them. and to see him die the way he did. Just so moving. I talk about it more in my Kingdom Keeper 7 book review, which I will link down in the doobly-doo. Next award, on a happier note, last year would be for the best penultimate, but then I realized I did not read any penultimates this year. Not really. But I did read one. I wasn't going to give it an award because there were no other nominees, but as an award to the only penultimate I read this year, Broadway Lights by Jen Kalanita, the penultimate to the Secrets of My Hollywood Life series. Woo! Next award goes to Best Series Conclusion. Now this is based off of how well did it wrap everything up, how well did it conclude its series. You know, not just the quality of the book, but how did it serve towards the whole series. And this award, again, goes to Kingdom Keeper 7 by Ridley Pearson. And I feel like it just, especially the last chapter, it tied up the first Kingdom Keeper series so well, answered everything we wanted it to answer, so many things, concluded, and it just had that same heart as the first 4 books that kind of changed a little bit in the 5th and 6th book. It got back that magic, it felt so right, and I felt it was just the perfect ending, and the last chapter was not the epilogue. The last chapter was the ending that I had always imagined from the time I read the first book. So it was perfect, and I can't wait to read the second series. I would like to give an honorable mention to Blood of Olympus because that was great too, but I chose not to because a lot of things were unanswered, and you know, there were things unanswered, and there were things that could have made it better that may have given it the best ending. Percy Jackson was such a huge thing, and I felt like there could have been more, but still, I loved that book. Hear more about it in the review. Link in the doobly-doo. Next award goes to Best Indie, and for these last 3 categories, I am going to give all the nominees and then tell you the winner, because these are such big awards. The nominees for Best Indie of the Year are 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, Looking for Alaska by John Green, Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, which I borrowed from my best friend when I read it, so I don't have it with me, and Unbroken by Lauren Hillenbrand, which is still in my school locker, so again, don't have it. And the winner for Best Indie of 2014 is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. As I said before, this book is so incredibly moving and life-changing that I could not give the award to this book. So, yay! I will make the medal things later. I'm going to make, like, stickers to place in each of the books that win for each year. The next award is for the best series of 2014. I started a bunch of different series in 2014. Most of them weren't concluded, but they were all great, and here are the nominees for Best New Series of 2014. The Program Series by Suzanne Young. The Mila 2.0 Series by Deborah Dryza. The Waterfire Saga by Jennifer Donnelly. The If I Stay Duology by Gail Forman. And finally, the Eternal One Series by Kirsten Miller, which I don't have with me because I borrowed it from the library. And the winner for Best New Series of 2014 is The If I Stay Duology by Gail Forman. These books were just so incredible, so moving, and I loved them so much, and I couldn't help but feel that this was the best new series I read in 2014 because I felt most attached to it, and I felt like I loved it the most, so yay! Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the #1 award that you have been waiting for. Hopefully. And this is the best read of 2014. The nominees are The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan, Kingdom Keeper 7, The Insider by Ridley Pearson, Where She Went by Gail Forman, the sequel to If I Stay, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, and Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. And the winner for the best read of 2014 is Where She Went by Gail Forman. This book was so moving. I read it up so quickly, so much character development and character exploration. It was so real, so deep. I was crying in it, not even because of what was happening, but because of how incredibly deep it was. And I just felt like it kind of surpassed the original by so much, and that's not something that you see happen often. And it was so incredible, and I really feel like Where She Went deserved the award for the best book that I read in 2014. So that's it. That's the 2014 Book Awards. Woo! Now I'd like to talk about the my reading goals for 2015. So in general, I would like to read 50 books in 2015. It's going to be a challenge, but I am going to make it. Right now that count is not even at 1. I am still working on Pride and Prejudice, which I started on Christmas, which is bad, but hey, I was on a cruise. Give me a break. I would also like to reread a lot more. So maybe reread the Harry Potter series, reread The Divergence. I definitely have to reread Insurgent before the movie. I'd like to reread the entire Kingdom Keeper series. And I would like to reread and finally finish the series of Unfortunate Events series, because rereading all the books that I have, which is 1 through 11, shouldn't take that long. I could read them probably each in a couple of hours. Then I would like to finally read 11, 12, and 13, which I never read, and finish that series once and for all. And maybe reread the Percy Jacksons. And if possible, I would like to count none of these rereads in my 50-book count. I want that 50-book count to be all new books. But I am going to keep them to the side. And if it comes to the end of 2015 and I do not have 50 new books, I will add those books to my count just to acknowledge that, hey, I did read 50 books. Alright, that is it for 2014, and 2015 is coming. It's shaping up to be a great reading year. A lot of series are getting second books or third books, or I'm just planning to read to finish up a lot of series. The Kingdom Keepers is starting a new series, New Lorien Legacy's book, which is no longer the last one, and so, yeah, I am really hoping for 2015 to be a better reading year, and I think it's going to be. So, without further ado, bye, and have a great 2015.